the Labor Day vacation. I just wanted to go over a couple of points with you today. The first one is that beginning from this week on forward, I'm a new teacher, right? This is my first year, and so I'm going to be evaluated quite closely, right? I'm going to be scrutinized, and so what that means is maybe the assistant superintendent might walk in at any time, or the superintendent, Dr. Chernis, might walk in at any time. Definitely the administrators here at the school, and maybe some of my fellow teachers in the math department. And so basically, what they want to see is that you guys are all engaged, that you guys are all doing computer related activity that is building your skills in coding. Right? And they might come up to you and they might ask you, hey, what are you studying right now? Okay. And so that's something that I want you all to definitely have an answer to. And so you guys are all going to be at different places. You guys are all studying at different speeds. You're all at different places in the book. Some are doing the final project currently, right? And others are still working through exercises in the book. So you guys are all over the place. So you can express that. You can let them know that everybody's at a different place. But if we go ahead and look at today's lesson on the class website, right, we have here Monday, that's today. I'm going to click on it, and I have this projected in the front of the class. And so here we have our objectives, our standards, and what we are required to do. Right. And so regardless of where everyone's at, we're all going to be pretty much working on the same standards. So you can let them know. We're expected to be able to use proper programming syntax and test and debug and improve software development work, right? And our objectives are so and so. Okay, so this is like the standard answer, but you also want to express the fact that you're all at different locations in the curriculum and that this is what you're specifically working on, and you can maybe talk about the turtle exercise or, maybe the race lab that you guys are working on. Okay, so that's that. Just want to make sure that that's clear, that nobody's going to walk in and you won't have an answer to a question that they might ask you, right? Such as, what are you working on today? And so that's that. Another thing is on the quiz, I had a question, tell the difference between an expression and a statement. And I felt that that was kind of an unfair question because there were so many questions about that from you guys. And so it wasn't really clear on what the distinction was. So I wanted to go ahead and talk about that a little bit. I took it off the quiz and I wanted to talk about it. So here's the definition. An expression produces a value and can be written wherever a value is expected. And a statement performs an action. Okay, so what does that mean exactly? Well, let's come back over to here, and I'm going to look at this code right over here, and we could see we have num1 equals 5, num2 equals 10, then down on line 4 we have sum is equal to num1 plus num2, and finally we print sum. All right, so what are the expressions here? What are the statements? All right, and so here on this right side of line number 1, we have the number 5, and that is an expression because it produces a value, right? It produces the value 5. Now, right here, the whole entire line number 1 is a statement because it performs an action. It executes the instruction. It creates a variable, a space in memory, assigns it the name num1, and it puts the value 5 inside of that space. Right? Or generally speaking, that's the way it works. And so that's kind of the difference, right? We look at down here at line number 4, and what's the expression? Well, the expression is the portion of code that produces a value. Now, the entire line does not produce a value. The entire line is an instruction. It's telling the computer, take num1, take num2, add them together, put them into this variable called sum. That's the statement, the entire line. And we have the expression is the right side of that statement. Right? So, an expression can be a part of a statement, but a statement cannot be part of an expression. And then down here, here's where it gets a little bit tricky. We have line 6 is a print sum. Now, this is a function, and you might think in your head, hey, a function is an instruction that you want the computer to do. Well, a function is actually an expression that produces a value. And inside of the print function, you might have some statements that perform actions. But the end result of a function is that it returns a value or it returns like an integer, or it returns back a Boolean value of like true or false, right? Sometimes it returns no value, but that's also a value, right? No value. And so it's a little bit tricky, it's a little bit convoluted and confusing, but that's the general, I guess, semantics of the term expression and the term statement. So that's that. And the last thing I want to talk about is taking our quiz today, right? So if you have forgotten, we have our quiz today, and I went ahead and set it up on different websites, but I ended up just going ahead and doing it on Schoology. And so you guys are probably familiar with Schoology, so you can go ahead and create an account, or if you already have an account, go ahead and use it. If you're creating your account, be sure to use the email account, your student email account, to do that. And then you want to add um, the class, and the class has this code here. Hold on one second. Has this code here. So go ahead and add that as a class, and you could see on the right side you'll have quiz week number 2 to 3. Okay, and you can go ahead and start taking that, or at least load up the page, and then once everybody's loaded up, I'll go ahead and actualize it so you guys can begin taking the quiz. Just a couple of things that I want to talk about when you're taking your quiz. Eyes on your own page. Don't let your eyes roam around, and only have one Chrome browser opened up. Right, close everything else up. I just want you to have one Chrome browser open with one tab. So I'm going to be walking around, and that's what I want to see. And if I don't see that, then might suspect that you're getting help from different websites, or maybe a friend, or chatting or something like that. So let's keep it one Chrome browser, one tab, and eyes on your own screen. And I guess, yeah, I guess that's it. So good luck on the quiz, and